As the years pass, many of us notice subtle yet unsettling changes. Perhaps you walk into a room and forget why you came. Maybe a familiar name escapes your lips, or you misplace your keys once again. These moments, though small, can leave a deep impression. They whisper to us that our memory, once sharp and steady, may be slipping away. And with it comes a quiet fear. The fear of losing independence, of not recognizing the faces and stories that shape our lives. I want to tell you this: you are not alone. What you experience is shared by countless others, and it does not mean the light of your mind is fading. Just as the body needs gentle movement to stay strong, the mind also needs care, attention, and practice to remain clear. Memory is not only about storing facts, it is the thread that weaves together who we are. Protecting it is an act of honoring your own life. Today, I will share with you 7 simple yet powerful exercises to nurture your memory. They do not require special tools, great effort, or money, only consistency and a willingness to care for yourself. Each practice is like watering a garden, small drops each day that keep the soil fertile and the flowers alive. Stay with me, and together we will explore how to keep the mind awake, the heart open, and the memory resilient. The first exercise is reading daily. It may sound simple, almost too simple, yet its impact on the mind is profound. Reading is not merely about passing time or filling silence with words. Each page you open is like a doorway through which the mind steps into movement and renewal. When you read, the brain does not rest, it awakens. Your eyes scan the words, your memory recalls what came before, your imagination connects ideas, and your focus holds the thread of the story. In this gentle activity, the mind is quietly training, building strength as muscles do when they are used with care. Science supports this ancient wisdom. Studies show that older adults who read regularly, even for just a few minutes each day, lower their risk of cognitive decline. Reading stimulates both short-term and long-term memory because it requires us to remember what was written earlier while making sense of the present moment. In this way, the act of reading becomes a bridge that unites past, present, and future, much like memory itself. What matters most is not the subject or the length, but the consistency and the joy it brings. 10 or 15 minutes of reading each day is enough to keep the mind active. Choose what speaks to your heart: a beloved novel, a newspaper article, a magazine on a favorite hobby, or even spiritual writings that inspire reflection. Each choice is valid because the true medicine lies in the engagement, not in the complexity. Reading also carries a quiet gift. It offers stillness. In those moments when you sit with a book, the noise of the world fades, the heart settles, the breath slows, and the mind finds focus. For many elders, this practice is more than mental exercise. It is a form of meditation, a daily retreat that nourishes both clarity and peace. If you make reading a steady ritual, you may notice subtle yet powerful changes: sharper concentration, steadier thoughts, and a memory that feels more reliable. Just as a flame continues to burn when given oxygen, your memory will stay bright when nourished with words and stories. Each page you turn is not only knowledge gained, it is a promise to yourself that the mind remains alive and resilient. The second exercise is playing thinking games. At first, this may seem like entertainment, a way to pass time on a quiet afternoon. Yet these games carry hidden strength. They awaken parts of the mind that reading alone cannot touch. When you solve a crossword, move a chess piece, or arrange tiles in a puzzle, the brain is called into action. It must plan, calculate, and hold small details in memory while anticipating the next step. This process trains what scientists call working memory. the ability to keep information alive just long enough to use it in the present moment. For older adults, this kind of mental workout is especially valuable. Research has shown that people who engage in puzzles or strategy games on a regular basis have a slower rate of cognitive decline. The reason is simple. The mind, like a muscle, grows weaker when neglected but remains strong when challenged. Each riddle solved, each move considered, is a gentle test that keeps the pathways of thought open and flexible. There is also another gift hidden in these games, the gift of connection. Many of them are meant to be shared. A game of cards with family, a round of checkers with a neighbor, or even a group gathered for bingo at the community center brings more than just stimulation for the brain. It creates laughter, shared moments, and bonds of friendship. And it is well known that social interaction itself protects the mind from loneliness and depression, two forces that often accelerate memory loss. You do not need hours to benefit. 15 or 20 minutes of play is enough to awaken the mind and lift the spirit. Think of it not as competition, but as collaboration between you and your own mind, between you and those you share the game with. When approached with lightness, thinking games are more than pastime. They are bridges connecting thought to action, memory to strategy, and one heart to another. In every move, in every small victory, you give your brain a chance to remain alive, alert, and joyful. The third exercise is recalling and sharing memories. Within each of us lies a treasury of experiences, moments of love, struggle, joy, and discovery. With time, these treasures can fade into the distance, yet they are never truly gone. By recalling and sharing them, we not only keep the past alive, but we also strengthen the mind's ability to retrieve and organize information. Memory, after all, is like a muscle. It grows stronger when used with care. When you tell a story from your childhood, describe a holiday long ago, or recall the first home you lived in, your brain engages in a complex process. It searches for details, arranges them into sequence, and gives them voice. This act stimulates long-term memory and trains the mind to hold on to what matters. Psychologists call it reminiscence therapy, and studies show that seniors who regularly revisit their past maintain sharper memory and greater emotional well-being. But this exercise is more than mental practice. It is also nourishment for the heart. Recalling warm moments, laughter shared with friends, milestones achieved, or challenges overcome brings positive emotions back into the present. These feelings remind us that life has been rich and meaningful even in times of hardship. Such reflections not only build memory but also restore dignity and confidence. Equally important is the sharing. When you tell these stories to grandchildren, to friends, or to neighbors, you create bridges across generations. A simple account of how you celebrated a holiday or learned a life lesson can leave a lasting impression on those who listen. For the younger ones, it becomes part of their inheritance, a gift of wisdom that no book can replace. For you, it is an affirmation that your life continues to inspire and connect. To make this exercise a natural habit, choose a moment each day to recall and share something specific. It might be over dinner, with family, during a walk with a friend, or even while writing a letter to someone you love. The key is to bring the memory to life with detail, colors, smells, emotions, so that the mind practices holding and expressing them clearly. You may also find that sharing memories eases loneliness. Speaking aloud, hearing the attentive silence of others, and seeing their eyes light up in recognition create a sense of belonging. This connection itself protects the mind, for isolation and silence are among the greatest threats to memory. In truth, recalling and sharing memories is not about clinging to the past. It is about weaving the past into the present so that the fabric of life remains whole. Each story you tell, each memory you revisit is like polishing a stone in the river of time. The more you hold it, the brighter it shines. And as you share it, you discover that memory is not only for yourself. It becomes a light that guides and nourishes others. The fourth exercise is writing by hand. In a world where so much is typed on glowing screens, the quiet act of putting pen to paper has become rare. Yet it is precisely in this simplicity that writing by hand reveals its power. When you form letters slowly and carefully, when ink flows in rhythm with your thoughts, multiple parts of the brain awaken at once. Memory, coordination, and creativity all work together. This combined effort strengthens the very pathways that support clear thinking and recall. Scientific research has shown that handwriting improves the ability to retain and organize information. Unlike typing, which often becomes mechanical, writing by hand forces the brain to slow down. Each word must be shaped, each sentence carefully built. This deliberate pace allows thoughts to sink deeper and memory to hold them more firmly. For seniors, this practice becomes a way of anchoring ideas, preventing them from slipping away too quickly. But beyond its effect on memory, handwriting carries a meditative quality. The steady motion of pen across paper calms the nervous system. Stress softens, the breath becomes more even, and a sense of order returns. Many find that a few minutes of journaling in the morning or evening not only sharpens memory, but also brings peace of mind. It is a form of self-care, a way to listen to one's own thoughts without interruption from the noise of the world. This exercise need not be complicated. Begin with a small notebook and dedicate a few minutes each day to writing. Note what you are grateful for, describe the weather, or record a memory that surfaced during the day. You may also choose to write letters to friends or family, even if they are never sent. The act of shaping words on paper is the true practice, not the final product. Handwriting also creates a tangible legacy. Long after digital files are forgotten or lost, a handwritten page carries warmth and intimacy. Children and grandchildren may one day hold your letters, tracing the same strokes your hand once made. In this way, writing by hand preserves not only memory, but also presence. It is a reminder that your thoughts, your feelings, and your wisdom have weight and form. For those who struggle with the pace of life, handwriting can be a way of reclaiming time. Each line slows the rush of the day, grounding the mind in the present moment. With consistency, you may notice that recalling details becomes easier, that your thoughts flow with more clarity, and that your inner world feels less cluttered. To write by hand is to converse with oneself. It is a dialogue between thought and movement, memory and expression. Each page becomes a mirror, reflecting both what the mind remembers and what the heart holds. And with every stroke of the pen, you nurture not only memory, but also the quiet strength of being fully alive in this moment. The fifth exercise is engaging with music and singing. Music is more than sound. It is memory woven into melody, emotion carried by rhythm, and connection hidden in harmony. A single song has the power to transport us back decades, to awaken moments we thought long forgotten. This is why music is not just entertainment. It is medicine for the mind and nourishment for the heart. When you listen to a familiar tune, your brain does more than hear. It recalls the people, places, and feelings attached to that melody. Neuroscientists have found that music stimulates regions of the brain linked to both memory and emotion, areas that often remain active even when other functions begin to decline. This means that songs you love can act as keys, unlocking doors to moments you thought were lost. Singing, too, is a profound exercise. To sing is to coordinate breath, words, rhythm, and feeling all at once. This demands attention from multiple parts of the brain, strengthening connections and keeping the mind engaged. Studies show that seniors who join choirs or sing regularly enjoy improved memory, better mood, and a stronger sense of community. Singing is not about having a perfect voice. It is about allowing the voice to become an instrument of vitality. Music also holds the power to calm. Gentle melodies reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and help the mind settle. A relaxed mind remembers more easily and functions with greater clarity. On the other hand, lively rhythms invite movement, encouraging the body to sway, clap, or even dance. In this way, Music unites mental exercise with physical activity, enriching both body and mind. Equally important is the social dimension. Singing with others, whether in a church choir, a local group, or simply with family at home, creates bonds of joy and belonging. Each shared note is a reminder that we are part of something larger than ourselves. Loneliness fades, replaced by connection, laughter, and harmony. For elders, these bonds are as valuable for memory as the music itself. Making music part of daily life does not require instruments or training. Begin simply. Play a song each morning that lifts your spirit, hum a tune as you prepare a meal, or sing softly before sleep. These small acts awaken the brain, brighten the mood, and keep memory alive. Music and singing remind us that memory is not only stored in words or facts, it lives in feelings, rhythms, and voices. To embrace music is to embrace life itself, for every note carries both the weight of the past and the promise of the present moment. And in that harmony, the mind finds strength, the heart finds joy, and memory continues to bloom. The sixth exercise is gentle physical movement. The body and the mind are not separate. They are two rivers that flow into the same sea. When the body stiffens, the mind too becomes less flexible. But when the body moves with ease, the mind also awakens with clarity. This is why even simple, gentle movement can serve as one of the most effective practices for preserving memory. Scientific studies confirm that physical activity improves blood flow to the brain, carrying oxygen and nutrients that keep neural pathways strong. Movement also stimulates the release of chemicals that support the growth of new connections between brain cells. In this way, every step you take is not only for the muscles, but also for the mind. Gentle movement does not mean pushing the body to exhaustion. It means inviting the body to stay alive. A quiet walk in the park, slow stretching in the morning, or light dancing to a favorite song are enough to make the brain more alert and focused. Even 10 minutes of daily movement can bring more benefits than an hour of intense effort performed irregularly. Consistency is the true key. One of the most powerful aspects of movement is coordination. When you practice balance, standing on one leg, shifting weight carefully, or flowing through simple exercises, the brain must cooperate with the body. This keeps attention sharp and reaction time steady, which reduces the risk of falls while strengthening memory. Activities such as Tai Chi or yoga for seniors are excellent, for they blend mindful breathing with balanced movement, uniting body and spirit. Beyond biology, movement lifts the heart. As the body stretches and breath deepens, tension leaves and energy returns. Stress diminishes, and with it the fog that often clouds the mind. Endorphins, sometimes called the body's natural happiness chemicals, rise with movement, creating a brighter mood. And when the mind is lighter, memory becomes more resilient. There is also joy in shared activity. Walking with a friend, attending a senior exercise group, or gardening with family not only moves the body but also strengthens bonds. These moments of companionship create both physical and mental vitality. Loneliness and stillness are replaced by laughter, motion, and connection. The beauty of gentle physical movement is that it can be woven naturally into daily life. Take the stairs slowly instead of the elevator, stretch while waiting for tea to brew, or pause each evening for a short walk. These small acts accumulate into great strength over time. To move is to remind the body and mind that life is still flowing. Each step, each stretch is an affirmation that you are present, alive, and capable. Through gentle physical movement, memory is nourished not by effort alone, but by the rhythm of living fully in the moment. The seventh exercise is social connection and community involvement. Memory does not thrive in isolation. The mind, much like the heart, needs contact, dialogue, and the warmth of human presence. When we interact with others, listening, speaking, exchanging stories, the brain is naturally engaged. Language, attention, and memory are all activated at once, keeping the pathways of thought alive and resilient. Research shows that seniors who remain socially active are less likely to experience cognitive decline. Conversations challenge the brain to process information quickly, recall details, and respond with clarity. Each exchange becomes a subtle form of training, a reminder that memory is not only stored within us, but also expressed between us. Social connection also nourishes the spirit. Loneliness has been called one of the silent illnesses of old age. It weakens not only the heart, but also the mind. When we withdraw from others, thoughts become repetitive and memory begins to dim. Yet when we step into community, whether through family gatherings, local clubs, church groups, or neighborhood circles, the mind awakens again. The variety of voices and stories offers stimulation that no solitary practice can provide. The benefits extend beyond memory. Being part of a community affirms our sense of belonging. It reminds us that we are not invisible, that our presence matters. This feeling of significance lifts the mood, reduces anxiety, and brings vitality back to daily life. When you laugh with a friend, share a meal with neighbors, or join a group activity, you are not only feeding the heart, you are also strengthening the brain. Community involvement can take many forms, each valuable in its own way. Perhaps you attend a book club where lively discussion forces you to recall and articulate your thoughts. Perhaps you join a choir where the blend of voices unites both memory and joy. Even simple acts like walking with a neighbor, volunteering at a local center, or playing cards with grandchildren create bonds that protect the mind. It is important to remember that connection does not always require large groups. Sometimes a heartfelt conversation with one trusted friend brings more nourishment than a crowded room. What matters is the authenticity of the exchange, the sense of being seen and heard. To cultivate this exercise, make social interaction part of your routine. Call a friend each week, invite family for tea, or attend community events. Approach these moments not as obligations, but as opportunities to enrich your mind and spirit. The seventh exercise teaches us this truth. Memory is not only personal, it is relational. It is kept alive not only by what we practice alone, but also by what we share with others. Each connection, each conversation, each act of belonging is a gentle reminder that we are alive together. And in this togetherness, memory finds its strongest home. Beyond the 7 exercises, there are simple daily habits that serve as quiet guardians of the mind. They do not demand great effort, yet their influence is profound. When woven gently into everyday life, these practices create the foundation on which memory can rest and flourish. The first is sleep. During the night, the brain does more than rest. It organizes, repairs, and clears away what is no longer needed, making space for new memories to settle. Without adequate sleep, thoughts become scattered, concentration weakens, and memory struggles to take hold. 7 to 8 hours of restful sleep is not indulgence, it is maintenance for the mind. Create an evening routine that allows the body to relax. Dim the lights, set aside screens, and let quietness invite sleep naturally. The second is hydration. The brain itself is composed mostly of water, and even mild dehydration can create fatigue, confusion, and forgetfulness. Many elders mistake thirst for hunger or ignore it altogether. To support memory, drink water steadily throughout the day rather than waiting until thirst is strong. A glass of water in the morning, another in the afternoon, and one in the evening can keep the mind clear and alert. The third is nutrition. What we eat becomes the material from which the body and brain are built. Diets rich in vegetables, fruits, fish, and nuts provide antioxidants and healthy fats that protect neurons from damage. A handful of berries, a piece of salmon, or a small portion of walnuts may seem simple, yet they are potent allies for memory. Avoiding excessive sugar and heavily processed foods prevents the sudden swings of energy that cloud the mind. The fourth is stress management. Chronic stress floods the body with chemicals that wear down memory and shorten attention. To release this burden, cultivate practices that calm the nervous system. Deep breathing, moments of silence, or a walk in nature restore balance. Even pausing to watch the sky or listen to the wind can remind the mind to settle and let go. The fifth is curiosity. The brain thrives when it encounters something new. Learning a few words in another language, trying a new recipe, or exploring a different route during a walk stimulates fresh neural connections. These small acts of curiosity keep the mind flexible, reminding it that growth continues at every age. Taken together, these habits act as companions to the 7 exercises. Sleep restores, water refreshes, food nourishes, calm protects, and curiosity awakens. They are not extraordinary tasks, but daily gifts you can give to yourself. By honoring them, you create the environment in which memory can remain strong, like a tree rooted deeply, nourished by water, sun, and fertile soil. As we reach the end of this journey together, I want to pause and speak directly to you. Growing older is not easy. It asks us to face changes in our bodies, our energy, and sometimes in our memories. Perhaps you have noticed moments of forgetfulness that leave you unsettled. Perhaps you have wondered if you are slowly losing the stories and faces that mean the most to you. I want you to know from the depth of my heart that you are not alone in these thoughts. Every person who lives long enough will encounter them. And yet, forgetfulness does not mean that the flame of your mind has gone out. It only means the flame now requires more care, more gentle tending. Throughout our time together, we have explored 7 exercises and a few simple habits that can protect and nurture memory. They are not grand or difficult. Reading, playing games of thought, recalling and sharing memories, writing by hand, embracing music, moving the body gently, and staying connected with others. Each of these practices is within reach. Added to them are the quiet supports of sleep, hydration, nourishment, calm, and curiosity. When combined, they form a path not of struggle, but of care, a path you can walk slowly, one step at a time. What I wish for you to remember is this: memory is not just a collection of facts or details. Memory is the thread that weaves together your life, your identity, your relationships, your wisdom. It is precious not only to you, but to everyone whose lives you touch. Protecting it is an act of love, both for yourself and for those around you. I also want you to be gentle with yourself. There may be days when you forget, days when you feel tired, days when nothing seems clear. These are not failures, they are reminders that you are human, living within the rhythm of time. On such days, even a small act, writing a line in a notebook, walking to the window to breathe deeply, or calling a friend, can become a victory. Do not measure yourself by what you cannot remember, but by the care you continue to give to your mind and heart. Know that you carry within you a treasury of experiences no one else has lived. The songs you have sung, the lessons you have learned, the laughter and tears you have shared, all of these are jewels that cannot be erased. Even if some details fade, the essence of who you are remains intact, shining through your presence. Others see it, feel it, and are inspired by it. So as we close, I invite you to choose one practice from all that we have discussed and begin today. Not tomorrow, not someday, today. Let it be small, let it be gentle, but let it be consistent. Over time, it will grow roots, and from those roots, your memory will draw strength. Step by step, day by day, you will notice clarity returning, confidence building, and joy reawakening. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Thank you for your willingness to listen, to learn, and to care for yourself. It is a sign of courage and of wisdom. May you continue to walk your path with dignity. May your memory remain a faithful companion, and may you always know that you are supported, valued, and never alone.